Welcome to Off the Air with the Big Fella, Demetrius Johnson. Every week we're going to try to have some profound, provocative statements and guests. Man, this one today, man, this is an honor to have my good friend. She is a good friend of mine. All transparency, I don't want anyone saying that I did not tell you that she's a friend of mine. And guess what? She got a hell of an announcement to make. When I heard about this announcement that she made, I was shocked. But I'm not shocked because I know how she is. I want to introduce to you our viewing audience, my good friend, Jane Dueker. What's up, Jane?
How are you?
How you doing?
I'm suddenly much busier than I was, and very happy about it.
I wonder why are you busy now? Let's just get to the point.
Let's get to it.
What just happened? You made a huge announcement.
I did. I filed to run in the Democratic primary against Sam Page for county executive.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
I am great.
I mean, you don't need to see no doctor or anything.
Right. I mean, some people have asked me that, but I actually am more calm since I've done it than when I was thinking about it. And I did it on the last day. And you know what? I said, sometimes you want something done right, you do it yourself. And that's where I am. And I really hate what's going on in St. Louis County right now.
And I'm shaking my head because disbelief. I'm serious. I know you're an advocate for folks. I know you go out there, you work to try to get things changed. I know you work with the police union. I just know you do a whole lot of good stuff out there.
I do. And so, you know, I really felt like we're on the wrong direction. We need a full-time county executive. What we have now is a man who's an anesthesiologist and a part-time county executive. We need a full-time county executive. And just to remind everybody, on Tuesday, April 5th, you got to vote yes on Prop B, which will reaffirm that the county executive job is a full-time position, no outside, income, no conflicts, none of that nonsense. It's already in the charter, but he's, Page has totally violated the charter. He works, way too many hours with his outside employment. Right. So the voters need to speak again so that we have a full-time county executive. I will commit there will be no outside employment.
Okay, but I hear that. But I want to get down to business. Why are you running? What made you decide to run for county executive?
St. Louis County is going in the wrong direction. The number one issue on every voter's mind is always public safety. Okay, crime is skyrocketing in the county. That is dangerous, and people want to be protected. And so that's number one. And so we have to get good policing, fair policing, equitable policing, but we need a lot more policing, okay? We need people in the community. We need visibility. We need community relations. We need it all, and we need it yesterday. And it's not happening. He's politicized the police department. He politicized the police chief choice, which was a disaster. And look, you can dog Mary Barton, but all she did was apply for a job and get it, okay? It was the political wrangling, mainly by Sam Page, that turned that all into a disaster.
So let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's talk about when you talk about politicizing everything. I mean, he's a politician. That's what politicians do. So how did
But I've done it different?
Yeah. Tell me what you've done differently than that.
So he went to Colonel Troy Doyle, who is phenomenal. He's a dear friend. I trust him.
And let's make, Doyle is a good friend of mine, and he's an African American.
Yes.
He was assistant chief out there.
Well, he's a lieutenant colonel.
Lieutenant colonel.
So he's high up, and he put in for the chief spot, and Sam told him he was the guy. Sent him to Jeff City to fundraise. I mean, just sort of all some really crazy stuff, and of course, pulled the rug out, and and unfortunately, he's had to sue. I mean, because he knows that this was racial. And incredibly divisive, but Troy Doyle was the guy that they send to North County to try to help work with relations between the police and North County residents. That when the jail needed fixing, they called on Troy Doyle to go to the jail and fix. He has been the utility player that everybody has needed, right? But he wasn't good enough to be chief.
Okay, Jane, but how is it when situations come up like this in the community all the time? We have white candidates come out and say, okay, I got the black interest and I know what you guys are going through. I'm going to work with you. What makes you different from any other white person that want to fight against another white person and then need black votes? So what makes you any different from getting being true and transparent in what you're doing?
Well, because of the 20, 25 years that I've had out there protecting issues like healthcare, protecting things that matter to people, and I have been doing a lot of fair policing work. I mean, I've been working, our association is working more with ESOP, which is the Ethical Society of Police, more than ever in history. So I feel really good about that, working strong to get stronger discrimination provisions, the diversity and inclusion in the police. That has been a disaster. It really has been. And there are 3 lawsuits in the police department for discrimination, African Americans. It's ridiculous.
So I understand that.
So we have to say no to that. We have to recruit. We have to work together. And you know what the most important thing is that I will tell? You have to be transparent with people. Okay? You don't go behind closed doors and play games. You have to be upfront and take care of the issues. I will never claim to know, this is what the African American, I'm not a white progressive. I don't claim to know what the African American community needs, but I will tell you, I will always listen and I will always fight for whatever issues. Ask the people I work with. Rita Days, ask Shalonda Webb, ask the Hubbards, ask the Black Caucus downtown. On behalf of the police in the city, working with the Black Caucus endlessly, Louis Reed, John Collins Mohammed, Pam Boyd, Jeffrey Boyd, on equitable policing. In Jeff City, I was one of the negotiators for the police, and we got the most earth-shattering, it was phenomenal police reform bill, banning chokeholds. Everything that after George Floyd, everything everybody wanted, worked with Senator Williams, took 18 months. It didn't happen overnight.
I hear.
But those are compact issues.
You still got to tell me, I know you personally, and I know you're a good person.
Yeah.
I know you're a person of your word.
Yes.
But that's me. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so many times, I remember when they was taking Sam Page around, he was saying the same thing. Hey, I'm going to do this for the Black community. And I don't see a whole lot of changes in that area.
No, it's gotten worse.
So how do we...
Fighting for Rita Days when they tried to take the chair away from her. I mean, I have never seen anything more racist and misogynist as to what went on with that chair dispute. Having someone vote past their legal term in order to deny Rita Days the chair and not letting Shalonda Webb vote for the chair, like denying her vote, open and notorious. Well, I stood with them and I said, I would do anything to make sure that they got her vote and that Rita got chair. It was completely unacceptable. And I was open and notorious saying, this is not happening. And it didn't. Well, thank goodness.
They have the movement with black woman rock, or black girl rock, black power rock with the women. When you look at what the Black women has been able to portray, strength, vigor, hard work.
Absolutely.
I don't hear nobody say white women rock, strong white women. I don't hear that slogan. So as a Black man looking at you running against the situation, what would you say about your strength, your vision, your ability to get something done? Yes,
well, I'll tell you. I'm more qualified than Sam Page. I was chief of staff for Governor Bob Holden. First, I was the first female general counsel to a governor, and then I became chief of staff in the state's history. So I helped supervise a $24 billion budget. I oversaw more than 20 agencies with every public policy issue you could even imagine, and 65,000 state employees. I know how to get it done. I worked with a completely Republican legislature and got things done. And what's interesting is the people that I was against at those times are people that have the largest amount of respect for me, because they know that I say what I mean what I say. And that was the best advice I ever got, was say what you mean what you say. This is a small town city, this state of Missouri, and if your word is not your bond, you will never get anything done.
We have a lot of money coming in from the government now with the funding, like in the city of St. Louis. They can't even release the money and give it to the people that need it. They always talk about Black people and Black folks going to get some help and relief, but as soon as things come in, money come in, I haven't seen any money, a lot of money.
No concrete
in North
results.
County.
Absolutely.
I mean, so how do you reassure folks, okay, is this just another talking face of a white person saying, hey, we're going to help you in North County get in this position, and like everybody else, they turn their back on them.
Let
How
me
can you reassure that?
Well, let me be very clear. I'm the county executive. I'm not the appropriator. Who I would trust right now is your chair, Rita Days, and Shalonda Webb. They are the ones that are going to make sure this money goes to North County. The first tranche of money, the county council, Lisa Clancy, and Paige's cronies, they passed a bill that gave him complete control over that money. They totally gave up their appropriation power to Sam Page. So, you know what happened? They did the small business loan program. Guess whose district got the most money? Lisa Clancy. Not North County, who needed it the most, but Lisa Clancy's district. That's offensive.
Okay, what is offensive to me?
But now we have a new general in charge. Rita Days is the chair of the council. She's got 4 votes, and she will make sure this money's getting there. She's the one fighting for the Hazel Irby Center. She's the one fighting for comorbidity health care for North County. Her and Shalonda announced a $50 million investment for community center, health care, one-stop services for North County residents, small business help, health care, mental health care, all of these things, these wraparound services that need to happen in North County. These women are fighting for them. Shalonda is holding the Port Authority accountable so that she can transform Jamestown Plaza. That needs to happen. That's an environmental hazard. Now, they've let it dilapidate so badly that it's an environmental hazard. So now the Port Authority, they're getting their feet held to the fire. So what's going to happen is I'm going to support the backbone of the North County community. I'm going to support the black women who have the right vision and now need somebody not fighting them like Sam. Sam has stalled Jamestown. He stalled the legislation on North County, the North County ARPA spending. It's offensive. And I will not stall. Not only will I not stall, I will jump in and help. I trust them.
You've been out in the community. You've done things for me in the past.
Absolutely.
And you've been a vocal point of things. You go on the radio. What station is that? 90
KFT?
KFT?
Yep, 97.1.
97.1.
I do the round table on Fridays.
With those guys.
Correct. I've been on KMOX.
Very good conversation you be having on there.
Absolutely.
I had one with you and I like it.
I do too.
But with the movement today, with Graydon's and the governor and all these people, well, as a black man in the black community, I look at it like we really don't help. Who can help us?
Right.
But the first thing they tell us, help yourself. But you can't help yourself if you don't have any
The basics.
to try to help yourself with.
The basics.
So how do you reassure me as a black man?
Jobs.
How do you reassure that? Because this is what whites say all the time.
I know.
We're going to help you.
I don't blame you.
We're going to give you an opportunity, but they don't.
But they don't. But I can tell you, the people, I think you know me best by the people I work with.
I know you personally.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what's going to have to happen. And I'm going to be getting out there in the community saying, "Hey, people, this is who I work with. Don't trust my word. I am quite happy if you trust my actions, because my actions speak volumes. You know, I worked for Governor Holden, who had the most women and African Americans appointed of any administration. And that's since or before. So pretty proud of that. You know, we were the ones that stood up for Medicaid and make sure that the legislature didn't take Medicaid. We vetoed the budget. We did, you know, I stood with Governor Holden and I believed in everything, standing up for education and education funding. I believe in our public schools. And, you know, he doesn't. How is it possible that we would let our public schools, you know, he's going to like auction them off to the highest bidder? That's not going to happen. I've spent my career fighting for those things, and I'm not going to stop. But I will tell you this, I'm not afraid to talk to people I disagree with vehemently. And I have vehement disagreements with a lot of these Republicans. But I can talk to them. I'm not afraid of them. And I'm going to work with them when I can. And if I can get the governor to get stuff to St. Louis County, I will be lining up first.
So when you're talking about making an effective county executive, what does that look like? Because I want you to also tell me, what does it look like having an ineffective county executive?
Yeah. Here's the thing. When St. Louis County is quiet, it's running, the trains are running on time, okay? Where Sam Page goes, chaos follows. Chaos is not effective. Fighting is not, I'm all about the fight. Anyone who knows me, I mean, I will take the fight on.
I know you.
Right.
I do know that.
And I'm tough. But you know what? That doesn't do any good if it doesn't get you to the finish line. You know what it looks like? Execution. Execution of, like you say, getting the federal money out the door. Having an economic recovery plan. You know, this man has never talked about an economic recovery plan. How is that possible when we're coming off of a pandemic? While he was shutting down businesses, taking people's jobs, keeping the kids out of school, he was lining his own pocket. I don't understand how you can look people in the eye and say you're working for them when you're doing that. I will not do that. Okay, you have to fight and you have to be effective. And he seems to just want to pick fights. That's not getting anything done. And you don't govern by press release. That's another thing that is incredibly irritating with this administration. He announces programs, but then you never see him getting done. That's what you have to hold people accountable for their actions, not their words. Don't just listen. You have to watch. And watching is what's important. And when you watch, the man has not, I would like anyone to tell me what program has he implemented other than getting a morgue in North St. Louis County. He got North County a morgue. I couldn't even, here's another one that's just, he has suspended for the whole time of COVID, he has suspended minority contracting. How do you look the black community in the eye when for the morgue that you built for them, he didn't bid it out and require minority participation even in the morgue that he built for them? So that's offensive.
We know the work that Sam Page is doing or not doing. We know that work. Not getting it done or he is getting it done. I want you to tell our audience what's going to make you different, though. What's going to make you different from anybody else? Absolutely. See, and I can say in all transparency, you're a friend of mine. And we work together. Have you worked with me? How does that translate to everyone else?
Absolutely. Well, one, you don't get where I'm going by never executing and getting done what you say you're going to do. And I'm very proud of that. And I have worked in government for 25 years. I've passed more bills than Sam Page. That it shouldn't be that hard. And one, my record, who I work with, like I've told you, my experience in the governor's office and running this state, I mean, the priorities that I fought for, I don't expect you to listen to my words. I expect you to look at what I've done over my career. Fighting for equitable policing. I mean, that's the number one issue right now. Economic development. Sam Page is not capable of going to other cities and wooing companies to come here. He's not capable of getting immigrants to come here and feel safe and feel provided for so that we can increase the population again and create new economic activity.
What would make you say he's not capable of doing those things?
Because he doesn't even talk to the humans. He doesn't even talk to the press. He gets up behind a podium and he reads a statement. He can't communicate with the council. All of the problems we're seeing is because of that lack of communication, and he disrespects people. That's why there's so much anger. You don't have to love everything the governor does. You don't have to love what the legislature does, but you have to be able to go ask them for what you need as the St. Louis County executive. He can't step foot in Jefferson City and get things for county residents. They passed bills specifically to cut this man's power because of the way that he has been acting. I mean, that's difficult to accomplish.
So expound on that, expound on that, cutting his powers.
Oh, they absolutely.
Let me ask you, and how many other times has that happened?
Never in my career. In 26 years have I ever seen a legislature, Democrats and Republicans, together voting to curtail Sam Page's health, his health department's powers because of abuse of power. And politicizing the pandemic. I mean, that is the thing that has really rubbed me the wrong way. North County was adversely affected by COVID.
No doubt about it.
And he was slow to get them testing. He was slow to get them vaccines. I mean, he was slow on everything. And only when people screamed did he start trying to provide services. And why does it have to be a fight? It should never be a fight.
Well, one of the problems I have is these youth out here, the murder rate in the black community is off the charts. I mean,
crime is rampant, and he's hiding the crime statistics.
So how do we, now I know you come from a legal background,
Yes.
and I know you're close to the police union in the county. How does that translate to helping these black families? People dying in the long rate, kids picking up guns, shooting one another, don't even know they're playing with guns, and little girl just got killed herself.
Oh, the
and killed
children.
another kid.
This is unprecedented.
So what do we do? I mean, we got all this infighting in all these cities and counties, but nothing is happening for the people.
Exactly.
What guarantee you gonna give me or the viewing audience? I'm gonna be different. Everybody said they're gonna be different until.
Well, I have the relationship with the police. I'm the only one that has the relationship with the police to say things have to be different. Somebody has to engage the police board. You know, we have a civilian review board. They have subpoena power. They have much more power than they do in the city. That is important. Okay, we have to get out into the community. First of all, we have to blanket with good police officers. Okay, people are scared in North County. The crime, the rolling gun battles, the shootings. You're absolutely right. People don't feel safe. People have to be in the community. Our officers have to be in the community. They have to be visible, and they have to be, I'm sorry, but we do. We have to dedicate resources to this. 2 men to a car.
Right, so how do you involve those little small municipalities, the Pagedales,
Right, because I've
Elwoods,
worked with them.
Communities
In my work
to come and be a part
absolutely. In my work with the police unions, I work with Lodge 15, who represents all of the small municipality. Look, they understand that we have to do this together. These people, the city police union, the county police union, and the muni police union are working together better than they ever have, because out of necessity. What we don't have is a vision. I like Chief Gregory. He's a nice man, but he is not there for the long term, and he's only put off his retirement. And this is so Sam Page can get through an election.
So
we need a new chief. We need a new vision, and I am going to be visible with the police board.
Once again, black folks get overlooked. You had
They have to be part of that vision.
You had a guy that should have been the first black.
He was treated
chief
abysmally.
Troy Doyle.
Troy Doyle is incredible.
And they turned their back on him.
And you know what? Troy Doyle, no matter what, I don't know, after he's been treated so badly, I mean, legitimately has been treated so badly, I don't know whether he wants to put in for chief. I don't know if he's been treated so badly that he will not want to take that role anymore. But I will tell you this, and I know he will, and I've asked him, if I get this job, will you be there for me to help me learn what needs to happen in North County policing, because I trust no one more than I trust him.
So when we come into the conclusion of our interview, when I look at the county, it's not been any inclusion. I mean,
No.
They put these minority set-asides for contracting and things like that.
No, they're not following them.
Get them.
No, they're not following them.
I mean, so how do you...
He suspended it for 2 years.
So how do you hold anybody accountable?
You be transparent, and that's just it. He doesn't have the desire to be transparent. I have the desire to be. And you know why being transparent is good politics and good government? Because then everybody knows. If you include people on the front end, you don't have problems on the back end. I mean, look at the jail.
I agree.
He has gone underground on the jail. He appoints this board and says, oh, I'm going to be all inclusive. And all he's done is ignore them. I mean, that compounds the hurt. It compounds the non-inclusion. You ask these people to come and advise you, and then you ignore them. I mean, I don't know how much more you can slap them. I tell these people, I don't know why you even want to serve, because you came here to do the right thing. We've had people, Lori Punch on the police board. She quit. She said this whole process was completely cloak and dagger. Why am I even here? I may not have agreed with her on a lot of things, but she was spot on with that.
So how do you assure our listening audience, our viewership, that you're going to be different?
Because I've done it my whole career. And everyone knows that when they deal with me, in fact, I probably get a bad rap for being too honest. I probably get a bad rap for saying what I mean. Right. But you know what? I've learned over the 25 years of working with people that, look, you're going to get nailed. You better say what you mean or mean what you say. And the second piece of advice, best advice I ever got in my entire career, is if you talk to 50 people a day, literally on the phone, talk to them. You're always going to make better decisions. So when I was chief of staff, when I lobby, when I do any of my governmental work, I talk to 50 people a day. I'm going to get the right answer. And that's exactly what I will do. And don't believe my words. I don't want you to believe my words. I want you to believe my actions. My actions previously, and everyone knows what my actions will be going forward, because I haven't changed and I won't. So, and I don't need this job. I want this job.
You don't need it?
I don't need it.
Why do you want it?
Because I am sickened by the spiraling downward that we're doing so quickly in the last 2 to 4 years.
Tell you what I'm asking you to do. I'm going to let you tell these folks why they need to vote for you, why you want this job. I'm going to let you do a sales pitch, and you tell everybody who you are, what you want to do.
I have been born and raised in this county. I adore this county. No one will work harder. No one will be more transparent, and no one will be more communicative than I will. I've done it my whole life. I've run the state. I've run, people come to me. I'm the bet the company girl. I'm the girl that when everything's going to hell in a handbasket, you call her, because she takes on every hard project. And this county can be cleaned up, but we are at a crossroads. And we need somebody that's going to roll up their sleeves, do things differently, and is not afraid to talk to people who disagree with them. There have been a lot of people left behind in this county for a very long time, and they're mad, and they have every right to be. And I will listen to every mad person, and I will execute. I'm not going to fight. I'm so sick of hearing people talk about, well, I fought for this. Results, okay? We don't need any more studies. We don't need any more, surveys. We don't need polling. Everybody knows what the problems are. We have to keep people safe. We have to create jobs in this county again. We used to be the economic engine, and we have to restore us to being back to the economic engine. That means working with St. Charles. That means working with Jeffco. It means working with the city of St. Louis. It means working with Jeff City. And you have to be able to work with everybody. And you know what? The trains need to run on time. We have a toxic environment. Our county employees are desperate, okay? It's a toxic, discriminatory environment that needs to go now. Whistleblower protection needs to be number one on the list. Do you know how much talent drain that we've seen in the last 2 years? His cabinet, no one's left. He's only been around a little over 2 years, and his whole cabinet is basically turned over. Oh, wow. That is very dangerous, okay? There are professionals that need to be hired to do their thing, and he has squashed anybody's desire to work for St. Louis County. That has got to get turned around right now. He shut the county down for political purposes. He went after the restaurants because they were a political enemy. He went after the youth sports.
So anybody that didn't agree with him, he went after.
He politicized the pandemic. Wow. Okay? And then you go up and you say that you're going to give money to North County, but the small business relief goes to the 5th district? I mean, that's unacceptable. Now, what is the 5th district? That's Lisa Clancy's district.
Is that a white district?
Yes, that's the white progressive.
I just want to make sure that's a white district.
Yeah, and she was the one that wanted to take the chair away from Rita Days.
Okay, now
it all makes sense, because that's Sam's crony, and we're not doing cronyism anymore. We're done.
So, Jane, if anybody want to get in contact with you or support you, go on your social media stuff, how can they reach you?
One, you can always reach me on Twitter at Jane Dueker, JaneDueker. You can email me directly, janedueker@gmail.com. And those two places you can reach out to me on Facebook. Jane Eilerman Dueker. That's my Facebook page. And I am overwhelmed by the amount of support I'm getting already. And we're in it to win it. And we're going to make St. Louis County, we're going to make it great again.
I know that's right. Well, Jane, I want to say thank you, man.
Thank you for having me. This is
and it's an
awesome.
honor to have you coming down and having a conversation with me.
And I'm going to say it on this tape.
You say it.
If I am not doing what I've said I'm going to do, I want you to come at me and say it. And you drag me on your show, you drag me here, and we will talk about it. And you can chew me out. And guess what? I'm not going to be offended, and I'm not going to take political ramifications against you, because I want to do a good job. I don't need the job. I want the job.
It's my girl, Jane Dueker. I mean, she is running for county executive. You're my buddy. Yeah. I got to say you're my buddy. That's all transparency.
You are, I know.
And I'm going to reach out and see if I can get you, man.
Please.
Sit down and come on and do it off there with the big fella.
Yeah, and
Check it
I
out,
want to
man.
debate. You can ask him about that
Oh, I would
too.
love to do that. Ooh, that would
Yeah.
be a good one.
Yeah, ask him.
I'll
Why don't you host one?
That would be really good.
Host a debate with all the people that
that
you
would-
want from North County.
that would be
Let's do
really
it,
good.
and I will show up anytime.
I'm going to try to do it. All right, folks, but thank you for watching Off the Air with the Big Fella. You can catch me every Sunday morning from 6 to 8 on 96.3 FM for the Loop. Jane.
Thanks for having me,
my
dear.
girl, thank you. We'll see
Anytime.
you next time.